Gaming industry under fire. The push for respectful treatment of actors in explicit video game scenes. In a rapidly evolving gaming industry, where realism and immersion are key selling points, explicit content has become increasingly common. But behind the scenes, the actors tasked with bringing these moments to life are sounding the alarm. Disturbing accounts of performers being blindsided by explicit scenes, ranging from graphic violence to sexual assault, are sparking outrage. What happens when the drive for realism collides with the basic rights of performers? This article explores the growing demand for change and the call for stricter guidelines to protect those on the front lines of video game production. The hidden challenges of motion capture, a world behind the screen. Motion capture, the backbone of realism. At the heart of many modern video games lies motion capture technology. Actors dressed in skin-tight suits covered with markers perform on a bare stage, their movements recorded and transformed into the actions of characters in the game. While this process brings characters to life with stunning realism, it also hides a darker reality for the actors involved. For performers like Jessica Jeffries, who has worked extensively in the video game industry, the lack of information given to actors before a shoot is a recurring issue. Often they are called to a set with little more than a date and time, leaving them in the dark about the nature of the scenes they will be performing. This secrecy, while perhaps understandable from a business perspective, leaves actors vulnerable, especially when the scenes turn out to be explicit or distressing. A disturbing experience. The reality of unexpected explicit scenes. Jeffries recalls one such experience where she was asked to perform a graphic sexual assault scene with no prior warning. The lack of notice, coupled with being the only woman on set, left her feeling deeply uncomfortable. Despite the absence of nudity, the nature of the scene was still intimate and violent, requiring her to immerse herself in a role that crossed her personal boundaries. This experience, while distressing, led Jeffries to advocate for change. She emphasizes the importance of transparency, arguing that actors should be informed about explicit scenes well in advance. Knowing what to expect would not only help them mentally prepare, but also allow them to deliver better performances without feeling pressured or blindsided. The demand for change. Equity's fight for fair treatment. The role of equity. Advocating for performers' rights. Recognizing the need for change, the Performing Arts Union. Equity has stepped in, publishing guidelines aimed at improving working conditions for actors in the gaming industry. These guidelines cover everything from minimum pay to the treatment of actors during intimate or explicit scenes. Equity's push for transparency includes ensuring that actors receive a summary of the story, a scene breakdown, and scripts well before stepping onto the set. One of the key recommendations is the use of intimacy coordinators, professionals trained to ensure that explicit scenes are handled with care and respect. This is a practice that has become standard in film and television, where intimacy coordinators are now regularly employed to manage scenes involving nudity, simulated sex, or other intimate acts. By bringing these standards into the gaming industry, Equity hopes to create a safer environment for performers, protecting the vulnerable, the need for closed sets. Another crucial element of Equity's guidelines is the option for actors to request a closed set when filming explicit scenes. This means limiting the number of people present during the shoot to only those who are absolutely necessary. For actors, particularly those who may already feel vulnerable, this can make a significant difference in their comfort level and ability to perform. Jeffries and others argue that treating performers with respect and ensuring their comfort not only benefits the actors but also leads to better outcomes for the games themselves. When actors feel safe and supported, they can deliver more authentic and powerful performances, enhancing the overall quality of the final product. The voices of experience. Stories from the industry. A performer's perspective. Feeling exploited and unheard. One voice actor, who wished to remain anonymous, shared her own troubling experience with the BBC. Despite loving her work in the gaming industry, she described a moment that left her shaken and upset. Upon arriving at a recording session, she discovered that she would be performing a full-on sex scene, something she had not been informed about beforehand. Standing in a recording booth, surrounded by an all-male team watching her every move, she felt exposed and uncomfortable. The lack of consideration for her feelings, both during and after the session, left her questioning her place in the industry. As a freelancer, she feared the repercussions of speaking out, worried that refusing to participate could label her as difficult to work with. This fear of being blacklisted is a common concern among freelancers, making it all the more important for industry standards to be enforced uniformly. The need for change, moving towards better practices. These stories underscore the urgent need for the gaming industry to adopt better practices when it comes to explicit content. As games become more complex and realistic, the demands placed on actors will only increase. Ensuring that they are treated with respect and given the tools to succeed is not just an ethical obligation. It's essential for the continued growth and success of the industry. A path forward: what can be done? Learning from film and television. Adopting best practices. One positive example of how explicit scenes can be handled properly comes from the world of film and television. Productions like last year's blockbuster game, Baldur's Gate 3, have shown that it is possible to include intimate scenes without exploiting the actors involved. By employing intimacy coordinators and providing clear communication, these productions have set a standard that the rest of the gaming industry would do well to follow. Moving forward, the adoption of similar practices across the board could help prevent the kinds of negative experiences described by Jeffries and others. Clear guidelines, transparent communication, and the presence of trained professionals can create a safer environment for actors, allowing them to focus on their craft without fear of exploitation. The role of AI and NDAs, protecting performers in a changing landscape. Beyond explicit content, equities guidelines also address other challenges faced by performers, including the overuse of non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, and the potential misuse of artificial intelligence, AI. In an industry where technology is advancing rapidly, ensuring that performers' rights are protected is more important than ever. AI in particular presents new challenges. As the technology behind voice and motion capture improves, there are concerns that actors' performances could be replicated without their consent or compensation. This is a key issue in the ongoing strike by games performers in the U.S., highlighting the need for clear regulations and protections. A call for change in the gaming industry. The gaming industry has made incredible strides in recent years, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in digital entertainment. But as the industry evolves, so too must its treatment of the performers who bring these worlds to life. The accounts shared by actors like Jessica Jeffries serve as a stark reminder that the drive for realism should never come at the cost of respect and safety. It's time for the gaming industry to step up and adopt the practices that have become standard in film and television. Transparency, the use of intimacy coordinators, and the protection of performers' rights are not just ethical imperatives. They are crucial for the continued success of the industry as a whole. If you believe in the importance of these issues, please share this article with your friends and colleagues. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on our channel to stay informed about the latest developments in the gaming industry and beyond. Together, we can make a difference and ensure that the future of gaming is one that respects and protects all those who make it possible.